Welcome to another episode of StreetLethalTV, and today we're going to show you how to convert your 1967 or 68 Mercury Cougar from drum to front disc. So in the garage today we have a kit from Wilwood. It's part number 14-13476. Follow me right quick. Let me show you what comes in the kit. We have the brake lines themselves, some hardware. We have some wheel bearings right there. It does come with the actual mounting bracket that you need for your brake caliper, as well as some brake pads. This is a 4-piston kit right here. Here are the calipers, brand new out of the box. Ordered it from Summer Racing. It's 4 pistons, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it also comes with a brand new rotor right here, okay? So stay tuned. Like I said, we're gonna mount it up, show you exactly what you need to do so you guys can get that extra stopping power that I know you definitely need, because I definitely need it as well. To do this job, you need a hammer, flat nose screwdriver, pair of dikes, 3/8 quarter drive ratchet, 1/4 quarter drive ratchet, 7/16 socket. You need a 12mm deep socket, 9/16 socket, as well as a 7/16 wrench, 9/16 wrench, and also, last but not least, a 5/8 wrench. And it might be handy to have a 4-way. Here we have a 1967 Mercury Cougar with drum brakes all around, both in the front as well as in the back. So we're gonna do a drum to disc conversion today. So after you get the front wheel off and you get the center cap off, you're gonna expose that cotter pin and take that off, the retaining nut. Just wiggle it, it's gonna come off. Rotor will come off, which will expose the drum parts, and you just disassemble it. So take all the retaining screws, the retaining springs, taking it off is easy, putting it on is not so easy, but you know, just take your time, guys, you'll get it off. And so now you see the backing plate right here. There's 4 screws, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom. Just take your time, get them off. So what you want to do is you want to have a ratchet in the back and either something to clamp the front bolt, and then as you are twisting off the nut, depending on how long those brakes have been on, it's going to take a little bit of elbow grease to get it off, but it'll eventually get off, as you can see. And then you just repeat the process for the other 4 nuts and bolts, and then the backing plate will come off. We're going to keep the brake line on for now to avoid spilling of brake fluid. So right now, as you have the spindle exposed, definitely we encourage you to have a wire brush to clean that. And you just put the mounting bracket on. There's 4 bolts that comes in hardware kit supplied by Wilwood. You torque those tight. Clean up your spindle. And then now you're gonna pack the wheel bearings with grease. The trick here, guys, is to go from the uppermost part of the bearing all the way down until you see grease come actually from the bottom, right? So let gravity pack it in there. Take your time. I'm fast forwarding just for the sake of video, so you guys won't see this part, but definitely take your time with the inner and outer wheel bearing right there. And at this point, the rotor is now ready to go on, just like that. So you center it, you put the inner bearing on, and then you have the retaining nut as well as the washer right here, and then the nut's going to go after that. Never mind how messy and greasy it is right now. You definitely always clean that, but it's best to be lubed and to make sure that those parts which will be spinning at high revolutions are pretty greased up, to make sure that there's freedom of movement in there. So you're going to put on the retaining nut here with the cotter pin, insert that into the designated hole, and then you're just going to take your needle nose pliers or dikes or whatever you may have, and push those cotter pins in, and then you're going to tap the center cap right there and then clean it up. Next up, we have the calipers. You're going to use the hardware kit again to fasten the wheel caliper to the rotor. Take your time. You're going to use a 9/16 wrench here to torque those tight, both on the upper and lower nut right there. Next up, we have the brake pads, which to me, this is like the best part about the kit. Look how easy it is to install these brake pads. 1, 2, just like that, and you just line it up with the cotter pin. Adjust if needed, like right here. We're going to adjust to make sure that the holes match, and then just like that, folks. And you're going to do the same thing as you did with the retaining nut cotter pin. You're just going to pull those to make sure the cotter pin is tight, holding those brake pads in place. But man, that's, to me, that's worth having this kit for, honestly. Definitely take your time, make sure everything is torque tight. Next up, we're going to actually take care of that brake hose. So took it off. You can see some fluid coming down here. I'm going to speed up the video. The brake lines are included in this kit. This is an all-inclusive kit. Me, for one, I'm one of the cheapest guys I know, and I couldn't find any other kit that would have satisfied my needs. And yes, this kit is pretty expensive. You know, I'm not being sponsored for this video, so I did have to pay out of pocket to make this this project happen. But you know, the kit, well worth it in my opinion, especially considering how inconsistent the brake system was with the drums. Next up, you're going to take the bleeder, tighten it by hand, then go once again with the wrench. The 7/16 wrench there. Tighten it. You're going to put the other end of the brake hose, tie it by hand, then come back and tighten it with whatever tool you have to tighten it with, either pliers or a wrench, open end, box end. Let's go over all of it. Now it's time to bleed the system. And just note, guys, I'm using my factory power brake booster.
So do it one more time.
So here we just pump the brakes 3 times, allow for the gravity to bleed the brake system. The good thing about these calipers is that they're only to bleed from the top bottom. Clean it off with some parts cleaner or some brake cleaner, whatever you may have at your disposal at the time. Just double check to make sure that it's tight.
Done deal.
And that's it. Go from that to this. Couldn't be more happier. After we put them together, we took our time to wire brush the inner fender wells, and then painted it with some rubberized paint. The results speak for themselves. Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. You guys have a good shout out to Mike the mechanic for helping me out with this video. He did all the work while I can sit back and record and film to capture this footage for y'all. Appreciate it. Thank you.